Governments always emphasize that they're working for our financial freedom. On TV, in speeches, on billboards, you hear words like stability, growth, and opportunity. But if you dig into history a little, you'll see another truth. In every era, states have found ways to make sure the poor stay poor and the rich get richer. The oldest trick? Inflation. When a government spends more than it earns, it has two choices: either admit openly, we're out of money, we're raising taxes, which is political suicide, or quietly reduce the value of money. Rome learned this long ago. They started decreasing the silver content in coins little by little, without telling the people. Prices went up, wages couldn't keep up. People were paying taxes without realizing it. Not officially, but through a harder life. In the Middle Ages, they came up with another method: forced loans. The king would tell merchants, lend money for the good of the nation. If you refused, you'd face fines, confiscation of goods, or worse. They called it a patriotic loan, but it was coercion. Then came 1694, the founding of the Bank of England. The official reason, financial stability. The real reason, the government needed money to fund a war with France. Wealthy investors lent it, and the state promised to repay with interest. But who paid that interest? Ordinary people. Through taxes on everyday items like salt, beer, and cloth. And so, the system was born. The rich lend to the government, and the poor pay the interest. Fast forward to today. Same game, different names. Budget deficit, stimulus package, growth plan. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Yet most of that money still flows upward to big corporations, banks, and defense contracts. Then the government claims it's for the people. But when it's time to repay, they cut spending, raise taxes, or devalue the currency. The 2008 crisis? Same pattern. Banks gambled and lost. Then the government bailed them out to prevent collapse. Who paid? Taxpayers. Who profited? The banks. Again. It's the game of privatize the profits, socialize the losses. The pension system isn't much different. People work for decades contributing to pension funds, but the government has long spent that money. Future generations are expected to pay the old debts. It's essentially a chain debt system. Later, when the money runs short, they call it a reform, by reducing pensions or raising the retirement age. All these illusions follow the same pattern. Inflation is called economic growth. Forced loans become patriotic duty. Tax hikes turn into stabilization measures. Pension cuts are branded as reforms. And every time the winners are the same. The few at the top. In recent years, the tricks just got smarter. They call it quantitative easing. Printing trillions supposedly to stabilize the market. The result? Stocks, real estate, and bonds skyrocket. But who owns those? The wealthy. Meanwhile, ordinary families bear the burden of rising prices and the soaring cost of living. Sometimes taxes don't rise, but prices do. It's as if there's a hidden tax, the inflation tax. You might earn more, but because everything costs more, you end up with less. Government debt shrinks, your life gets harder. A subtler trick is confusion. Tax codes are thousands of pages long and budget reports are full of technical jargon. Everything is made so complex that ordinary people can no longer understand what's really happening. And if you don't understand, you can't protest. Today they tell you, inflation is a natural process. It's not. Debt is an investment in the future. It's not. It's all an illusion. The easiest citizen to govern is the one without financial literacy, because they never ask questions. But once you study financial history, the game becomes clear. You realize that Roman coins, medieval loans, and modern bonds are all just different forms of the same mechanism. And the result never changes. Ordinary people work more, yet own less. So remember this. Don't believe the headlines. When a government makes a decision, always ask, who benefits? See inflation not as bad luck, but as policy. Build assets that hold value, not only in money, but in knowledge. Never think the system works for you. It works to protect itself. History keeps replaying the same game. The only difference now is you know the rules. If this shifted your perspective even a little, then my purpose is fulfilled. History holds the answers. You just need to ask the right questions to find them.